Welcome to Star Sky Travel, and this is 5 Mysterious Monuments Around the World.
From more than 2 million sandstone blocks.
Stonehenge is the most famous of Britain's stone circles. A visit starts at the museum, where you'll see artifacts from the Stone Age people who built it. A 360-degree theater demonstrates how the structure is aligned with the heavens, marking both the longest and the shortest days of the year. And outside, a thatched hut hamlet helps you imagine how its Neolithic builders once lived. Huge stones like this replica were quarried, carved, and then moved for many miles, some of them from as far away as Wales, 200 miles to the west. They barged them down rivers. They may have rolled them on logs like this. Nobody knows for sure. After this introduction, a bus shuttles you to the site. Visitors are in awe as they ponder the continuously debated purposes and meaning of Stonehenge. The major stones were erected at the end of the Stone Age, just before the advent of metal tools. It's amazing to think that some of these cross stones have been in place for 4,500 years. Whatever its original purpose, Stonehenge still functions as a celestial calendar. Even in modern times, the sun rises on the longest day of the year in just the right spot, and it retains its powerful sense of wonder over those who gather. For over 4,000 years in a row, this ensemble of stones, so artfully assembled, has silently done its duty.
Isolated in the vast expanse of the South Pacific, Easter Island remains a land of mystery. Since its discovery by Europeans in the 18th century, very little is still known about the people who once lived there or their origins. But of all the mysteries involving the island otherwise known as Rapa Nui, the most persistent involve the nearly 900 megalithic statues known as moai, and why they were put here in the first place.
The moai are considered to be no more than perhaps 1,000 years old. However, it has been established that some of them penetrate down into the ground by a great amount of feet to reveal the rest of the body, not just the oversized head. And the amount of patination suggests that they are infinitely older than 1,000 years and could go back many millennia.
When you visit Easter Island and you look at the sites there, the statues, the megalithic walls, you realise they're much older than what history tells us.
Further clouding the issue is a discovery that was made in 2017. With the help of photography and 3D modeling programs, archaeologists discovered that the 13-ton stone hats known as pukao on the Easter Island moai contain a wide diversity of petroglyphs made by what appear to be different groups of people.
The hats that are on top of the Easter Island moai are a little bit of a mystery, but recently they've been analysed and carvings have been found on them, which has questioned the idea of what they really represent.
Perhaps there is something else going on here. It could well be that a number of different cultures lived on Easter Island. One of the most fascinating monuments on Easter Island is the stone platform, or ahu, known as Vinapu. And this is a huge megalithic construction that is essentially a wall made of cyclopean megalithic blocks that all interlock with each other. When you look at this, you cannot help but think of Cusco in Peru. And there has to be a relationship between the two cultures. All of these part of a much bigger transmission of knowledge, where the common belief, was an origin amongst the stars.
From the air, The scale of the engineering is incredible. Made of an estimated 10 million tons of stone, these are some of the largest pyramids ever built. The oldest and biggest is the Great Pyramid of Giza. Completed over 4,500 years ago, it's formed from more than 2 million sandstone blocks. Each block weighs more than a car. Created as a tomb for the pharaoh Khufu, it's the only one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world to survive to the present day. At 480 feet high, it remained the tallest structure on Earth for 3,500 years.
Southern Peru, 1927. While hiking in the foothills of the arid Nazca Desert, archaeologist Toribio Mejia Cespe discovers what appears to be a large network of ancient roads carved into the earth. Years later, as airplane travel to the region becomes more frequent, aerial flyovers reveal nearly 100 other designs in the nearby landscape. Known as geoglyphs, they depict animals, flowers, and even a mysterious human-like being. Scattered over a nearly 200 square area, these lines and figures have become collectively known as the Nazca Lines.
The Nazca lines consist of these massive drawings or carvings, if you like, on the ground. Everything from geometric symbols, lines, to animals, even fish, birds. But the intriguing thing about them is, number one, they're massive, and they can really only be seen properly from the sky.
There are over 800 straight lines. There are over 70 animal figures. There are over 150 geometrical shapes.
We have glyphs of different figurines on the ground. We have these intricate lines and what appear to be runways spread all around the desert. Some of these actually show mathematical diagrams built thousands of years ago, which really raises the question, why?
There's an enormous amount of unanswered and perhaps unanswerable questions that arise from the phenomena.
The largest of the figures is nearly 1,000 feet, or the size of 3 football fields. While the longest line extends almost 9 miles. According to mainstream archaeologists, these mysterious earth drawings were created by the Nazca, an ancient people that flourished in the region between the 1st and 8th century AD. The lines were formed by the careful removal of the reddish iron oxide pebbles that make up the desert surface. Once exposed, the underlying dirt, which contains high amounts of lime, hardened and was resistant to erosion.